She first aligned her foot and the shoe, then cut off the excess length in one slice, marking it carefully. Next, she pressed the knife firmly against the marked line, and finally struck it with a heavy blow, severing her toe. By doing this, she could fit into the shoe and compete with her stepsister for the chance to marry the prince, becoming a princess admired by all the girls. But instead of cutting her left foot, Ella cut her right foot. When her mother noticed, she thoughtfully helped her cut the left foot as well. However, to win the prince's heart, Ella didn't stop at this one extreme measure. She repeatedly used radical methods, undergoing surgery from her original appearance to achieve extreme beauty, paying a price that bordered on pathological self-harm. Ella had thought that this would capture the prince's heart, only to ultimately realize that the real clown was herself. The story begins with Ella, her mother, and her stepsister riding in a carriage to visit a noble household. The nobleman's wife had passed away, and he was looking for a companion. Ella's mother, having been widowed for years, didn't want to remain alone. During their conversation, the two exchanged glances and mutual interest, recognizing the right partner at first sight. On the day of their meeting, they couldn't resist and held a wedding immediately. However, during the evening celebration while eating cake, the old man, playful despite his age, started tossing cake. He threw a piece at Ella's face, making everyone laugh heartily. But as he laughed, he suddenly seemed to choke, unable to catch his breath. He then spat out a mouthful of old blood and died on the spot. This left Ella's mother stunned. Her husband had died on the wedding day. The next day, Ella went to the room to comfort the old man's only daughter, Jenny. From Jenny, Ella learned that her father, being a noble, had only married Ella's mother, a woman of no status, because their family had gone bankrupt. Had it not been for the small amount of wealth Ella's mother had, they would never have been allowed into the house. Ella ran to tell her mother, who collapsed in anger. As a widow with two useless daughters, she had finally married a noble, only to have him die immediately, leaving them penniless. Realizing her mother's plight, Ella said she could marry a wealthy man herself, but her mother knew Ella's unattractive appearance and knew she couldn't realistically hope to marry into a rich family. Then, one day, a royal messenger arrived, bringing Ella immense joy. The king and the prince were preparing to hold a court ball at the castle and had specially invited young noble girls to attend, as the prince would choose a bride at the ball. Being Jenny's younger cousin and now considered a noble herself, Ella also received an invitation. This made Ella ecstatic. She had dreamed of marrying the prince and immediately imagined all the romantic moments they would share. However, to seize this opportunity, Ella's current looks would not suffice. Fortunately, there was still time before the ball. Her mother hurriedly sold everything she could to afford cosmetic surgery and specifically hired an experienced surgeon. The surgeon only needed to measure briefly with a ruler to determine what needed to be changed. First, Ella had to have her steel teeth removed. Then, the protruding parts of her nose were slightly reduced and a fake eyelash was sewn onto her eyes. With these adjustments, her base features would be enough to capture the prince's heart, which made Ella ecstatic. First, her steel braces were removed. Looking in the mirror, she was indeed amazed at the difference. Next came the nose surgery. The surgeon used a rasp to target the protruding nasal bone, and without anesthesia, hammered it piece by piece to break it.